Welcome back to We Need to Talk, everybody at home. There's a few sore heads floating around today. I can't lie, I was in a bad way yesterday after England beat Croatia. But nevertheless, this is winners and losers. Zach Jalab is joining me. Jalab, how are you, my friend?
Yeah, not too bad. I'm not as bad as you, put it that way.
Welcome back to We Need to Talk.
Yeah, no, good fun yesterday. Good fun. Great to see the boys win.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. Buzzing. We're going to talk about that in just a second. But before we get into it, just a shout out to Christian Eriksen and the Danish medical staff. You know, brilliant to see that he's now on the mend. They were absolutely fantastic. The Denmark players did Christian proud. That was an incredible effort by that medical team. So really, really good to see him on the mend now. But let's talk about the talking point. It is going to be England, because obviously that game happened yesterday. And it finally happened, Jalab. We won our first ever opening game at the Euros.
We did indeed. And before the game, there were quite a few talking points themselves. Yeah. Whether the fact that Kieran Trippier was playing left back, Ben Chilwell hadn't even made the bench. Phillips and Sterling starting. But in particular, I mean, Trippier had an okay game. I still think we'd rather see maybe a Luke Shaw starting there. But in terms of Phillips and Sterling, they proved everyone was wrong. They showed why Gareth Southgate put his trust in them, and they were fantastic. I mean, Phillips was our man of the match. He dominated a very good midfield, it actually has to be said, of Modric, Brozovic and Kovacic in his advanced role. Actually, that entire England midfield, the kind of trio of Mason Mount, Phillips and Declan Rice, because Declan Rice was allowing kind of Phillips to push forward. And Southgate had actually mentioned in his interview after the game that he actually wanted to play Phillips further forward than how he plays for Leeds. A little bit like he used to play before Bielsa was in charge. That he had a 100% long ball accuracy, a 94% passing accuracy. I think he had completed every single pass of the first half that he made. He made 7 ball recoveries, the most on the pitch, 2 take-ons completed, and what an assist he got for the goal. I mean, to carry that ball forward. It was kind of almost as if like you didn't realise it was him on the ball. A nice little bit of a shimmy, a bit of work rate with his feet, and a fantastic ball through to Sterling. And it's a good finish from Sterling, has to be said. Now, also, we have to take a moment to praise Tyrone Mings, because he was also another one maybe before the game that was maybe
I've been hammering Tyrone Mings for weeks, mate.
You have.
I've been hammering him for weeks, and also, so I apologise, Tyrone.
But it also was maybe deservedly, right? It was deserved to a point. I mean, his kind of at Aston Villa, it's always been 50-50 really. I kind of probably rate Konsa slightly higher than him, and in the England friendly games he gave us reason to be worried. But look, against Croatia, he was fantastic. He was a man mounting. 9 clean sheets now in 11 games for England. He had 4 interceptions in the game, 3 clearances, gave away 0 fouls, which was probably our biggest worry with Tyrone Mings. And after the game, Gareth Southgate was talking about how happy he was with the boys.
It feels great to have been able to send the fans home happy, and to have fans up and down the country happy. That's very special. In terms of the game, I was really pleased with the way we settled so quickly.
Right, let's talk about the forwards then, because like you said, I personally wasn't too sure about the inclusion of Raheem Sterling, if it meant that Jack Grealish wasn't going to be playing in this game, but my oh my, did Gareth Southgate prove he knows this squad better than anyone. Of course, Raheem Sterling won the UEFA award for the man of the match. And, you know, it's just brilliant to see, because if you rewind the clock back to 2016, in that shambles versus Iceland, Raheem Sterling was really made quite a scapegoat after that. And this came just 3 days after he was awarded an MBE. He said after the game, didn't he, that if he was going to play at Wembley in a major tournament, he was 100% going to be scoring. That's his back garden. I saw a map today in one of the newspapers, and he grew up 500 yards from Wembley. He's got a tattoo to prove it, and he was sensational on the day. 13 goals, 6 assists for England in his last 17 matches now. 3 shots, 3 chances created, an XG of 0.7 by himself. And what I think Southgate got really right in this game was needing somebody to run in behind Kane. You've talked about playing Phillips a little bit more advanced to give the team a little bit more structure. Well, when Kane drops into that hole, which I thought he did a little bit too much yesterday, I didn't think Kane played very well against Croatia, but Raheem Sterling is able to get in behind, run off the back of him, which I think exactly what Harry Kane needs, stretches the play out and gives spaces for the likes of Mason Mount in those holes, for the likes of Phil Foden to come inside on his left. If that had gone in the first 8 minutes, I don't even think I'd be sat in this chair right now. I dread to think what would have happened. But yeah, I thought Southgate got it absolutely spot on the night. I agree with the Trippier thing. I think I would still rather see Shaw there, being able to have a left footer, put the ball across the box. But just a couple of little injury worries after that game. Obviously, Kane really heavy into the post, didn't he? I hope he hasn't cracked a rib or something there because he had to come off. John Stones went down at one moment as well, but I'm hoping that was just cramp. Nevertheless, Kalvin Phillips, Raheem Sterling, absolutely exceptional. And after the game, Raheem Sterling was talking to the media.
Wembley, not far from where I grew up, as a young boy, and seeing the stadium get built. And it's great to get on the score sheet today, but most importantly, I thought the team played brilliantly at times with the weather. We dug in, and it's a great start.
Moving on to our winners now, and probably looking the most comfortable out of the weekend is none other than Belgium.
Yeah, absolutely. Of course, they battered Russia on Russia's home turf. But this was a game that was kind of overshadowed, wasn't it, by that Christian Eriksen incident happened just a couple of hours before, and quite a few of his teammates were involved in the game. But just to touch upon Belgium, imperious in qualifying, 40 goals scored in qualifying, the most of any side in the competition. And it was Eriksen's teammate, wasn't it, Romelu Lukaku, who must have done so well to pull himself together and go out on that pitch that really did the damage. Of course, 24 goals in Serie A this season and 2 more on the night, and dedicated one of those goals to Christian Eriksen, of course, running down the camera lens, shouting, "I love you, Chris, I love you, Chris." Really, really nice gesture. And it's no wonder so many people, including us, are tipping him for the Golden Boot. 2 in his opening game. The group is a bit of a piece of piss, in my opinion, with Denmark and Finland. I really think Belgium could deliver some absolute hammerings in that group. And when you've got Romelu Lukaku in this form, he looks so fit, doesn't he, at the moment? 1.13 expected goals by himself in this game. 3 shots, 100% shot accuracy, 4 attempted dribbles. The guy is doing absolutely everything. He is a pure predator. And I have serious worries for the rest of the group, Janab.
Yeah, and I would be as well if I were the other side. I mean, considering this was a 3-0 win against Russia without Kevin de Bruyne, if I'm Denmark and Finland, I would be worrying, as he is still recovering from that fractured eye socket and knows that he got in the Champions League final. But he's expected to return before the end of the group stage. So good God, imagine how good they'd be with him in the side. Weirdly though, he's not the only Belgian with that injury now, as Castagna also fractured his eye socket in the 3-0 win against Russia. Not that it mattered though, because Meunier, who came on, was exceptional. 1 goal and 1 assist during the game. Russia though just couldn't get a hold of the ball for a prolonged period. Only 34% possession and just 1 shot on target over 90 minutes. And compared to the Russia side that we saw at the World Cup, it looked like a completely different team. Russia
Stop running. Where's the running?
Well, without saying anything too much, who knows? Russia are back in Group B action in St. Petersburg on Wednesday when Finland are the visitors. That is at 2 o'clock, so keep an eye out for that one. While Belgium play in Copenhagen against Denmark on Thursday at 5. And hopefully, we'll see Belgium probably dominate and Romelu Lukaku score another hat-trick.
Yeah, he's my Golden Boot, so let's keep the goals coming, Romelu. Let's keep them flowing. I want to get as many of those We Need to Talk predictions correct as physically possible. All right, moving on to our losers then. It's everybody's favourite dark horse. It's Turkey, Jalab.
Yeah, well, I mean, for some people, because after being backed as underdogs and dark horses and surprise packages for the past month or so, Turkey were beaten 3-0 by Italy on the opening game of the tournament. And I'm pretty sure it's safe to say they were dominated. They only had 36% possession, 3 shots to Italy's 24, and didn't even manage to put 1 on target. Turkey against Italy on Friday was just the 3rd time since 1980 that a team has had no shots in the first half of a European Championship game. It was actually an own goal that opened up proceedings for Italy before poor defending from Turkey allowed Immobile and Insigne to score. Insigne probably should have scored 1 early in the first half as well. And I felt so bad for Yilmaz. I mean, compared to a Yilmaz that plays 2 up top for Lille and has a bit of support, he was really only Turkey's attacking output. And every time he got that ball and was rushing forward, he'd look behind him and just see no one there. And surrounded by about 3 Italian defenders, he only managed 1 shot during the entire game. and hardly caused Italy an issue. But Joe, Italy didn't really play that well either.
They didn't have to though, did they? Turkey were absolutely appalling. They were so underwhelming given how many times people have hyped them up about being a team that could potentially win this competition. They're struggling to get out of the groups, putting in performances like that. I don't want to write them off too early because I still believe they're going to get out of the groups. But dearie me, they were an absolute mess. 9 men behind the ball all times. The keeper couldn't kick the ball off the ground.
Yeah,
how bad was the goalkeeper's distribution? It's absolutely shambolic. And like you said, Italy didn't have to get out of second gear. They were so comfortable in this game. The defenders may as well have had a nap. Donnarumma, I think, did his PSG medical and signed his PSG contract during the game, didn't he? He didn't have to save a shot. He was absolutely shambolic from Turkey. But Italy, yeah, like you said, were so dominant without getting out of second gear. It's the first time actually in European Championship history they've ever scored 3 goals in a game, which absolutely shocked me. Like, this is the perfect game for a Jorginho, isn't he? He had no pressure on him. Turkey were not pressing him at all. He could just sit in there, dictate. I think he completed 77 passes. Locatelli, I thought, was exceptional as well. Him and Jorginho really strong. Spinazzola as well on that left-hand flank caused them plenty of problems. Didn't he complete the most dribbles on the pitch with 3? And Italy are surely going to have harder tests in this group than that Turkey side. I think they play the Swiss on Wednesday. And I think they look pretty dangerous. I mean, Mancini's suit was so sharp. As soon as they came out with suits like that, I thought, yeah, Turkey are Turkey are in a bad way here, and when Turkey couldn't get out of their own box for 60 minutes, I realised Italy could go quite deep in this tournament, to be honest with you. But yeah, Turkey, so disappointing. What did you guys at home think about that Turkish performance? Because I was actually annoyed by it. Italy, very strong though. But we have got plenty more Euro 2020 content coming the people's way, haven't we, Jalab? Is there anything you want to point to and push?
Well, make sure you head over to EuroFootball Daily, where I'm sure they'll cover more of the games and more of the transfer gossip. Right here, Football Daily will also be covering the same stuff, and with some big games happening over the next couple of days. Isn't it? Is it Germany, Portugal tomorrow? God, that's going to be...
Is it?
I think so. I think, or was it France, someone or whatever? It's a huge game. And why not also check us out on Snapchat as well, where we give you guys the latest in football gossip. And subscribe to Football Daily. Love you lots.
Thanks very much for watching, everybody. Bye.